as our society tries to recover and continue during the COVID-19 pandemic, you'll know everyone in the health sector has been through a really terrible time. Look at the news on your screen now about the passing of Kebi Mapatswe. We don't know the cause of his passing. The point I'm trying to make is that over the last 2 years, it's been a very, very rough time for all of our society. One sector that's been thinking about this at the moment is, in fact, traditional healers. It is Traditional Healers Day today. There's a suggestion that government should actually create a Ministry of African Medicine. Professor Nceba Gqaleni is a fractional research professor at the University of KwaZulu-Natal and an adjunct professor at the Durban University of Technology and a member of the Africa Health Research Institute. Professor Gqaleni, good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you for your time. How do you believe a Ministry of African Medicine would change things? What do you think it would do?
Firstly, happy Traditional Medicine Day to you and your viewers. Thank you for this opportunity. Look, I can feel for the Ministry of Health now and the health officials with COVID. They're swamped. It's difficult for them to have to put their minds on other issues. The health system has its own challenges as it is now. Asia has advanced traditional medicine by having a dedicated ministry and a department that has fostered growth in this area. Regulated their practitioners, they've regulated their products, and so without that, you can't move forward. Because, as I'm saying, the public healthcare system is overwhelmed with its own issues now. That's a problem.
So as I understand it, the National Health Department, as it is currently, is supposed to ensure traditional healers are playing a role in our society. They have a legal right to do so. Their practices are recognized and legally accepted. Socially accepted, obviously, it depends where in our society you go. Are you saying the Health Department is failing to do what it should be doing, or are you saying they could do more?
No, they failed us. I'm just going to say that bluntly. I think there are two issues here. The one is that the ruling party has got its own factional issues dealing with corruption and many other stuff. They've ignored their constitutional responsibilities. There has been the Traditional Health Practitioners Act was put together. It signed into law in 2007. Only in 2013 that the Interim Traditional Health Practitioners Council was appointed by the Minister of Health under duress. He was not happy, but because he was forced to. But then he never supported that the council must be funded through Treasury, not Department of Health money, Treasury. That's how the act is written, and never supported that. So the council was stifled of fulfilling its legal mandate until its term came to an end. There's never been another council appointed. Yet employers are having to grapple with dealing with sick notes that come from traditional healers because workers have a choice to choose a practitioner of their choice. And so it becomes a complex problem that is just made by negligence.
So, I mean, there are layers upon layers on all of this, and I mean, it's a very South African issue in a way because it shows you how complex it is, the different aspects of our society sort of coming together. So, for the moment, we've been obviously dealing with the pandemic. Our hospitals have been full. If we had had the kind of ministry that you're proposing to promote traditional health practices, to promote traditional healers, do you think it would have helped during the pandemic? Would it have improved our health response, if I can call it that?
Definitely so, no doubt. One of the complaints traditional healers, when the first time the president announced the lockdown, was that they were excluded from the consultation. The president talked to everyone else except the traditional healers because there's no one who is representing their interests. COCTA is there to represent the traditional affairs, the leadership of traditional leaders, not traditional healers. That's a mandate of health. So they were not put on the table. And so throughout this whole process of this pandemic, that's been the challenge. Yet, had there been a ministry they would have ensured that the president had also consulted that constituency. Look, what would the traditional healers do? They don't talk vaccines, they talk treatment. The public health is busy counting the numbers of people. I mean, I'm saying this not in a very irresponsible way. We were prepared to count the dead and count the numbers of infected. We never had a treatment in place. We never had a vaccine. We never even put a vaccine strategy. South Africa is not even now, except that they've imported other vaccines. So we've not been ready in that sense, yet we could have invested in our own traditional medicine early to do the research and development.
There's going to be obviously conversations around all of that. So so going from here, let me put it like this, going from here, what do you think is going to change? Do you think anything is going to change, or do you think government is sort of stuck where it is?
The ANC wants elections. They want votes. They must decide, because traditional medicine has enjoyed the support of the majority of South Africans. This is not about just, it's what the people want. And if they're not willing to give the people what they want, that the Constitution mandates them to do. There's two options. Those people who can afford to challenge them legally, I encourage them to do so. But those who can challenge them by refusing their votes, I encourage them to do so, because this is we're not begging. It's not begging. It's what people deserve. South Africans need decent health, and traditional medicine is part of that provision. So it's not just begging and kind of thinking, Big Brother, help me. No, this is what people deserve. It's their right. If it's their choice, it must be of good quality. It must be safe. It must be efficacious. And Parliament has not done their job themselves. They've just sat there and never held government accountable for this aspect.
Professor Nceba Gqaleni, thank you very much, sir. Do appreciate the time. Fractional Research Professor at the University of KwaZulu-Natal and Adjunct Professor at the Durban University of Technology as well.